Tom Cartledge steps down and the old flame is put back in charge. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest News, where we're going to tell you about the changes off the pitch, as well as some transfer news changes. Lot to talk about as always. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV. And don't forget, if you're trying to invest some money and you ain't got a clue how the stock markets work with all these companies, FTSE 100, 500, and all this stuff, why not make life simple for yourselves and invest in a stock market that's about football players? With our friends at MECARREIRA, you can invest in players that you think are going to do well and potentially watch their value rise. You just invest in them like a stock market, but a stock market that us laymen can understand. So go check out MECARREIRA. It's completely free to sign up. You can scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. Get investing in the Forest players, of course. Let me know who you do choose. Okay, let's jump into the news. Okay, so let's start with the news about Tom Cartledge. And I'll be honest with you, he's not one that's ever inspired me, because every interview he does, he just wants to tell us about how he's been a Forest fan since day dot. Okay, cool. Congratulations, man. We're all kind of in that same boat. But he has stepped down. And there's been an official club announcement on the website. Let me read you out some key lines from it. They said, Forest have today confirmed that Tom Cartledge will step down from his role as chairman of the club with immediate effect due to a lack of time alongside the demands of managing his family business. Tom leaves the role with the thanks and best wishes of everyone at the club. He will remain on the board of directors and continue to support Forest growth strategy off the pitch. Then they go on to talk about when he was appointed, blah, blah, blah. And then Nick is back. Guess who's back? It says Forest is pleased to announce the reappointment of Nick Randall, KC, as chairman. Nicholas held the office for 6 years, blah, blah, blah. Speaking on his decision to step down, going back to Tom, it says, I have had an incredible experience over the last 15 months working for the club, and I love and have supported all my life. There it is. He's got to squeeze it in. The club he's supported all his life. Anyway, it has been my honor and privilege to help deliver on Mr. Marinakis' ambitious plan for the future of our club, and I am proud of the progress we have achieved together on a number of key projects. Over the last year and a half, we have taken significant steps in securing the club's future at an expanded city ground, and I will continue to advise the owners on the real estate strategy while spending more time working in my family business. Under Mr. Marinakis, the club is in great hands to continue our journey back up the top of English football, and I look forward to doing all I can to make it happen. Then they go on to talk to Nick. And he says, I would like to extend my thanks to Tom for his hard work and dedication over the past year and a half. During that time, it has been a privilege to have remained closely involved with the club as a member of the board. I am delighted to resume my role as chairman today, and I'd like to thank Mr. Marinakis, fellow board members, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so some big news here. And what has happened? Well, we don't know yet, but I'm going to start the speculation. Firstly, why has Nick been put back in charge? This is the guy who promised us on his interview that Forest will not and shall not break PSR, and then we go and do it. So promise broken off the bat. And why has Tom stepped down? Well, again, I'm speculating here, but I have no doubts this is over the whole Forest move from the city ground to maybe Toten or something like that, because I felt he was the mastermind behind that. I don't like these changes. I don't like either of them, to be honest. And I don't like the idea of going back to Nick Randall. And I really don't want to hear Tom going on about how he's supported Forest his whole life. So these changes have happened. And I honestly think it's all around the city ground. And I never ever thought that he should have been in charge with his conflict of interest, because his personal business is the one who was doing the designs and stuff back all the way back from 2019 for the new City ground. So how could he sit there and make sure he's given Forest the best deal and he's trying to give his own business the best deal at the same time? So this needed to happen as soon as it was agreed that either we were going to stay at the City ground or buy the land or whatever was going to happen. So this is a little late for me in terms of it happening. So I do agree that Tom had to be stepped down or removed or whatever you see through that political lines that they've used. Excuse me. But to put Nick back in charge, old spider hair man, I don't get that one at all. Surely we should be going in a different direction after his blunder under his tenureship with the PSR and the overspend on it. Are we going to go back to seeing those days again? Or has there been enough, lessons learned from what happened in that summer that maybe we should give him a chance? What do you guys think on all of this? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on and talk about the transfer window changes, as the Premier League is set to move the deadline to the 15th of August to make sure that any business happens before a ball is kicked on the field. And this has Nuno's approval from Forest, but does it have yours is the question. For me, 100% I do agree with it. I'm sick of players coming in and out, the uncertainty, will he stay, will he go? All after, should I say, the Premier League has kicked off. But how does Nuno feel about this? Well, he has made a statement about it earlier in August, and he says one of the things we have to reflect on, and everyone in the Premier League has to reflect on, is how come we were competing and the transfer window is still open. This is something that really we should reflect on. It's a noise around the club and around the football clubs. And he does like the idea, paraphrasing here, of the window closing beforehand. Now, what will this mean for the Premier League? Well, it will mean all the business will most likely get done on the other side of the window, as in really early on, so that clubs are ready and can go on to their tours, etc., without the worry of losing players late or trying to get late business in. The other issue that I have with it, though, is what about the other windows? We still saw that even after the Premier League's window shut, the likes of Turkey, for example, still had their window open, and that meant that business could still happen. Now, in a way, there's positives and negatives to that. So say, for example, you've got some bomb squad players left over that you couldn't move in the transfer window, then you still do have the option of putting them into the Turkish league on loan or selling them or whatever as a last minute, last ditch resort kind of thing. So there's been no confirmation from the other leagues. But I think just to make everything a level playing field, that all leagues should open and shut at the same time. Okay, it's not physically possible with the likes of the South American leagues on a different time zone and time frame in terms of when their league football gets played. But in general, it just makes more sense. In fact, I would like most of our business done before the window starts, and then the I's dotted and the T's crossed as the window opens, so that Nuno has a whole squad to play with when it comes to the pre-season. We saw how good the pre-season was, but Forest still brought in some late players, and they've still had to have their time to gel and adapt into the way and style that Nuno wants to play. So how do you guys feel about this transfer window closing earlier? Do you see it like me as a positive, or do you kind of like the whole onrush while the season is still going on? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, let's give you some transfer news, and the Forest scouts were out watching Middlesbrough take West Brom. Why? Because they're looking at Hayden Hackney again. The midfielder is on Forest shortlist to potentially replace Danilo if he can't get back to full fitness before the end of the season, and Forest may be interested to bring Hackney in from Borough. Now, Hackney had a great performance against West Brom, probably man of the match on the pitch that day, and this is a player that we told you about in the summer that Forest was scouting and are interested in. And he's not the only one they're looking at. We've told you about the winger from Burnley as well. He's still on the radar. There's still plenty of business that Forest want to do come January when the transfer window opens back up. but we are starting to see signs of them wanting to strengthen in the midfield. But I still say, get a damn striker. If you look at Omar Marmoush, the one that I was hoping we would get, he's having an absolute blinder already in the Bundesliga. Top goal scorer ahead of crappy Harry Kane and the rest of them. He's flying. The Forest look like they may have missed out on that. However, the other two have turned into duds as I expected, with Nketiah still not off the mark at Palace, and Jimenez has just gone crap and is injured now as well. So there's plenty of news coming around in terms of transfers. We will keep you posted. Even though the transfer window is shut, it doesn't matter. Forest is scouting all these players. But do you like the youngster from Middlesbrough or the one from Burnley? Or do you want to see a striker come to Forest? Let me know in the comments down below. And that brings you up to date with your latest Forest news. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We'll see you on the next video. And go check out my predictions for the weekend results over on the Footy Network, our second channel. I'll leave the link for you on the end screen here. Come on, you Reds.